The John Lennon Story, Birth of the Beatles, an Audio History. Written by Geoffrey Giuliano. Narrated by Geoffrey Giuliano. With his bed-ins and bagism, the final years of the Beatles saw John Lennon transform himself from rock superstar to peace politician and counterculture leader. Since his pairing with avant-garde artist Yoko Ono in 1968, John cut loose from the Fabs to use his art as a means for peace. From his infamous bed-ins in Montreal and Amsterdam to Toronto's Peace Conference and beyond, John selflessly used the attention pushed on him by the media to raise awareness of the anti-Vietnam movement and the protest of Britain's smoldering involvement in Biafra. 1968 to 1970 was an incredible time for John on the musical front. With the Beatles, he would record Let It Be and the pop masterpiece Abbey Road. With Yoko, he would release a solo album, Two Virgins, the controversial cover depicting a free-spirited couple stark bollock naked, which deeply shocked even his Beatle mates. Forming the Plastic Ono Band, the inseparable couple continued to work on their solo material, releasing the highly successful singles Cold Turkey and Give Peace a Chance, a pacifist anthem readily embraced by the politically charged 60s youth. John's political agenda continued, too, in the early 70s, ultimately battling the U.S. government itself when J. Edgar Hoover's intensely aggressive, overtly paranoid FBI empire singled out Lennon as a political enemy. John was to be deported. In 1976, however, after a relentless 5-year struggle, Lennon was finally granted a green card. Meanwhile, John was releasing some of his best material to date. John Lennon, Plastic Ono Band, Imagine, Sometime in New York City, Mind Games, and Rock and Roll demonstrated Lennon's unyielding popularity and continual artistic growth. After the birth of the Lennons' only child together, Sean Ono Taro, John's life took a new turn as he retired from the biz to stay home to mind his family and bake bread. Lennon's so-called retirement lasted nearly 5 years before mounting a huge comeback with the release of the eclectic Double Fantasy in November of 1980. The song Just Like Starting Over documented both John's return to music and reaffirmed his deep love for the often difficult Yoko. For a fleeting moment, Lennon was back and bigger than ever. On December 8, 1980, however, John Lennon's majestic and turbulent life came to a violent and tragic end as he was gunned down outside his New York home by an obsessed loner who only the day before had been photographed with the kindly former Beatle. The world will forever lament the loss of John Winston Ono Lennon. His words and music, both with the Beatles and on his own, will continue to speak to, enlighten, and give heart to generations to come. His voice and image are now eternal, never allowing us to forget his great charm, tenacity, humor, wisdom, and, of course, musical genius. Towards the end of his term with the Beatles, John Lennon was heavily involved in protesting for a kind of generic peace with his new wife Yoko. Among the major PowerPoints of the Western world, Canada alone welcomed the admittedly fairly outrageous couple, even eventually arranging a meeting between the Lennons and then Prime Minister Pierre Trudeau. In this world exclusive, John and Yoko meet the press in Toronto at the Ontario Science Centre to bang the drum for their various peaceful initiatives.
It's like saying, why bother keeping on Christianity because Jesus got killed or something? You know, we don't think people have tried advertising before. You know, we think advertising is it, you know, and if we can start there, you know, I mean, if anybody brings out a new product, say, pretend Peace is new then, because we've never had it, they start advertising, it's sell, 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 you know, and whatever gimmickry and irrelevancies that are going on during the advert, it's the drink or the car they buy at the end of it, whether there's chicks in it and white horses and snow and all that. The product sells, and we believe in selling, you know.
Can we just get your line this?
Yeah, ask her anything you like.
Well, oh, go ahead.
I was going to ask, if the whole idea is to advertise, why you're almost a semi-recluse when you're here in Canada so far?
When? Well, I've been here one day. I wouldn't call that a semi-recluse. And, you know, we got up this morning and here we are. Like,
The rest of the week?
we'll probably see press, you know.
John, a few months ago you had a campaign going to have a ship in the Mediterranean, a peace ship in the
Yeah.
Mediterranean. Is this still...
Well, this is like some
Sample complete. Ready to continue?